One thing I noticed that once I immediately cut this out of my life, I was able to be a lot more productive, a lot more healthy, a lot more engaged with what I want in the future. And this one thing, it's something a lot of people are doing. If not a lot, if maybe 90%, 85, 90% of you guys watching this video, you guys go out every single weekend. Whether it's once a week, maybe it's both weekend days, maybe it's 3 times a week, whatever your schedule is or whatever your agenda is for the weekend. You always have something booked. You're always making plans. You don't want to have a weekend where you're just working or focusing on yourself. And when I put myself into that mindset of how can I put as much time to making myself better and achieving my future goals, how can I do this? How can I figure out a way to cut down the amount of time I give away to other people? And it's something that you might feel bad about. You might feel bad about having to say no to going out, but it's the easiest thing you can do in your 20s to set yourself up for future. It is very difficult, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. But if you're going out, let's say 3 times a week, let's try to cut it down to 2 times a week, and then eventually down to 1, and then eventually maybe once a month, if that. I feel like that's the best thing you could really do, is go out maybe once a month. If you're super into your business or if you're really locked in, obviously you don't feel pressure to do so, but it's also not super healthy to be completely isolated away from everybody all the time. Even in my current situation where I'm trying to finish out school, I'm trying to run my business, trying to make content for you guys, I could easily spend an entire weekend working. There's always something to do, whether it's coding assignments, whether it's a group project, whether it's making a script or making a thumbnail or coming up with content ideas. There is always something I know I can do. And I found myself creating my calendar right in the morning. As soon as I got out of bed, I would figure out what I wanted to do for the entire day. I would literally plan out the entire day to the moment I went to bed. And sometimes I wouldn't always stick to the schedule, I'll be honest, but I always tried to do an activity that I knew would help me. And instead of spending that time, or instead of giving that time to somebody else, I was giving that time back to myself. And it's something that I felt kind of obligated to do. I had to put myself first. I had to put my goals first. And as a result, if I can't go to that watch party, it's okay. I shouldn't feel bad about it. Hey, I have my goals that I need to accomplish, and I cannot let anything get in the way of that. And even if I do go, all I'm going to be thinking about is what I could have been doing to get myself closer to my goals, and I wouldn't even enjoy the experience. So what would be the point of me going in the first place? And it's one thing if it's a once a year type of event. For example, there was a Super Bowl recently, and I watched that with some friends, but I typically don't watch a normal sporting event just casually with some of my friends, maybe once a week, twice a week, every other week. I'm very stingy with my time. I'm very selfish. I can't keep giving it out. And you guys that are just always making plans, always staying out super late, you are really going to regret it in a few years from now when you see the new cool kids, or you see the new layer of men that are on top, or you see the new layer of individuals that are just outworking you, outcompeting you. And it's going to kind of hurt your ego a little bit, because you might have been in the same tier as this other guy. You guys might have went to the same school. You guys might have went to the same college, relatively similar majors, but he has his job and you also had your job, and he's making his salary along with an extra 20,000 a year from a side hustle that he started. Whereas you chose to just work your job, not try to improve, get a promotion. You didn't want to start any side business. And all you did was hang out with your boys. Yeah, your boys that you chose. You chose to hang out with them every weekend. And look at that. Now the guy that was in the same tier as you has elevated. And you might be in a reasonably placed tier. You might feel proud to be where you currently are, but it will be at the back of your mind about how that other guy who was in the same spot as you climbed up a tier and you did not. See, the worst thing that could happen to you is just being not where you should be. You not hitting the fullest potential that you could have hit. And that's pretty much my biggest fear. And maybe I don't hit 100%. Maybe I don't make 100% of the amount of money I could have made, or I don't make 100% of the memories I can make, whatever. But I want to hit as close as I can to that potential. Maybe it's 95%. Maybe it's 94%. It's like when you're studying for an exam. Obviously, you want an A, but obviously you want 100% on that exam. But you'd be okay with the 99, right? 98, 97. It's the same thing. But every time you give away a night out to hanging out with people that you really don't care about or that you see way too often, you are honestly just hindering your growth, and you're hindering your attention towards the goals you actually want to achieve. Instead of going out on a Sunday night or hanging out with people on Sunday, use that as a recovery day. Use that as a day for you to maybe take a day off from the gym, have that extra 2 hours to just reflect on the week, maybe do an extra assignment, think about some creative plans for the future. But just be able to have the ability to spend time with yourself. Because the moment you get rid of that itch to always wanting to leave your house, always hanging out with people, and just constantly just throw your time away, you'll be able to think about how you should utilize it, and you could put that towards anything that could help you in the future.